Welcome. I'm going to give it a few moments for people to join us live. If you're joining right from the start, welcome. I'm Tracy Goody, Practical Ascension Guide. So in this session today, we are going to be working with the Akashic Records, working with energy. Good morning, Melinda. Welcome. We are going to be channeling energy and information from the Akashic Records. So if you do have a question, enter that in the chat box as soon as you have the opportunity to do so. I don't normally get to all of the questions that flow through, so I just go through and answer as many as I am able. Even if you do not ask a question, there will be some type of energy or spiritual insight that is applicable to you. So I'm just going to give it a few moments for a few people to join us live. There's a lot of energy that wants to stream through right from the beginning, so we are going to start off with working with some energy. Hi, Avi, and Jamie. Nice to see you all. Beautiful. Welcome so much. If you're new to me and my work, I'm a Akashic Records teacher. I am a spiritual teacher, a practical ascension guide. I call myself because I'm all about, those deep spiritual, profound experiences and truths, but in everyday life. So really incorporating that into how we go about our normal daily lives. Cindy, hi, welcome. Beautiful. April, first time here, wondering what it's going to take to get over my divorce, narcissistic abuse. Yes. Okay, beautiful. So I invite you, if you've got a question, add that to the chat box. Doesn't matter if you do not ask a question, there will be some type of spiritual insight or healing available. So I think I'm going to start running some energy right away because it's really right there. Yes, Lorette, I'm a bit later today. I actually had to reschedule it. I originally was going to do it earlier, but I had to schedule it. Wonderful. Oh, so happy to see you, Cindy. That's great. Even though you're at an appointment, you're still here. Welcome, Chris. Good morning. Okay, so I am going to get into April's question. And if you have a question, then definitely add that to the chat box too. Melinda's at an appointment as well. Love it. Okay. So I'm going to start running the energy. And again, those of you that are outside of a place where you can, really sink into this, just feel free to do what you can do, right? Any amount of intention of receiving and opening is going to still be delivering you what's most needed. I know I did a journey for myself right before this session, and it just absolutely wiped out my energy. It was just so much flowing through. So being really gentle with yourself too, as we're here between the eclipses. So this is what's called eclipse season. And in eclipse season, there can be a lot of things coming up to the surface. We can also feel, exhausted because our energy is processing so much. We are being given so many opportunities to move into the depths of our truth, the depths of our power. And that was really the theme that was flowing through for today, is recognizing and understanding your own power and what that actually means and what reclaiming that power can do to transform your life. So that's really the theme for today. So again, if you are just joining, welcome. If you've got a question, add it to the chat box. I'll be streaming through information, guidance, and energy healing from the Akashic Records today. Okay, so before I start going through the questions, which I will in just a moment, I'm going to invite you all, if you're in a place to do this, if not, just do it to whatever level feels good for you today. We're just going to breathe for a moment and just taking those nice deep breaths, just at whatever rhythm works for you, at whatever depth works for you, just deepening your breath for a moment and deepening and opening your connection with the earth. So from wherever you're at, just setting that intention to connect with the earth. Setting that connection to open up your natural channels of connection with the earth. Your natural channels. Beautiful. And just even in the words that I'm saying, there's energy flowing through them to help you more deeply open and connect with the earth. Sensing or imagining those chakras on the bottom of your feet, opening and expanding, growing energetic roots deep into the earth, wide into the earth. There are so many high frequencies flowing through to us right now, so much energy that we are processing underneath the surface that you may need even more grounding than you think you might need. You're going to need even more grounding. So this is why the guides are really bringing this from the start here. Opening to that grounding so that you can open to that depth of understanding and that depth of embodiment. Beautiful. So I'm just going to invite you to kind of stay in that space of feeling pretty grounded throughout this session. And if you notice your mind, there's a lot of mental chatter, there's a lot of things going on, or you're feeling a lot of frantic energy, just keep dropping down. You really want to drop down below your solar plexus, drop down into your root chakra, and really center yourself in the earth to receive the most benefit from the guidance that flows through so that you're open to receiving it as well as the energy. Okay, thank you so much for joining me in that. So as I had mentioned before, if you've got a comment or if you've got a question, add it to the chat box and I will be flowing through them. And the theme today is really working with your power, understanding it, feeling it, and embodying it, and the shifts that can make. So welcome, and I love to see the connections as well. Those of you who know each other on here and connect whenever these lives come on. So that's beautiful to see. Okay, I'm gonna start going through here, and I'm gonna start with April up at the top. So wondering what it's gonna take to get over my divorce. And just as I quickly scan through, I see the word husband a few times here. And so I'm also seeing Liz. How do I help my husband get over a 28-year marriage that I'm leaving? So a couple of different relationship things coming to the surface. No surprise, these eclipses are super focused on relationships. So that makes a lot of sense. All right, so first we're gonna look at April, and then I'm also really pulling in for the group so that even if you're not asking a question specifically, there'll be insight available for you. So again, April's question is wondering what it's gonna take to get over my divorce. So let's see what flows to the surface here. And no surprise that it clicks right into that theme of reclaiming your power, which is really, really the big message that's flowing through for this right now, April. So I want to take a moment and just kind of settle into this energy and look at it for April. Reclaiming your power, reclaiming your truth. So it's more about the reclaiming of self than the getting over. The reclaiming of self helps to, and I know my eyes are closed, I'm watching a lot of different energy going on here. The reclaiming of self helps you to see the illusions that were at play in the relationship and in your belief system and in your nervous system even. It starts to bring about the clarity of the illusions. And by illusions, I just mean beliefs that you created about yourself or you formed about yourself, pressures you are putting on yourself. All of those things can begin to dissolve, can begin to, they're showing it, they're showing that it's like kind of peeling away, flaking away is the way that they're really, really showing it. It's almost as though like it's an exfoliation. So whenever you are working on yourself, on reclaiming your power, on reclaiming your truth, who you really are, why you're really here, why you are an amazing person as a standalone individual, why your worth has nothing to do with what you do and all to do with who you are, the more you're in that state of reclaiming, it's like an exfoliation for past energies, past relationships, things like that. And often in situations like this where you are receiving advice or guidance, a lot of readers would say things like cutting cords of attachment and all of that. And, a lot of those practices can be really beneficial, but what the real power is coming from you focusing in on yourself, and then any other activities that you are taking part in terms of like dissolving, forgiveness, releasing, all of those things, then they can really take form, and then you can really embody the benefits that flow from them. But it's reclaiming your power first and foremost. So that's the very first thing that I want to bring through for April on that. So hopefully that gives you a little bit. So the way that the guidance flows through in the records is they really want to empower you. They really want to put everything in your hands. So when I'm bringing through information from the records, It's less about like, writing down verbatim, exactly what it is that they said, noticing what jumps out to you. And then from that, working that with your intuition. So it's like they're giving you puzzle pieces that you're like, okay, I've got this puzzle piece, and then you'll notice something as you go about your day, even as you're scrolling social media or as you're out on the street or you're talking to somebody, and it feels like that puzzle piece clicks. So something that I said, something that is resonating with you will click with something, and then you'll be like, okay, this is the next step for me. So that I might say something broad like reclaiming your power, and the guides are already orchestrating and working on the synchronicities so that the right meditation, healing, journey, journaling, prompt, dream, the right things are lining up for you. So again, paying attention in these sessions, just very open and very intuitively, knowing that it's piecing things together for your greatest empowerment. All right. So I'm going to just take a breath here and just see if there's anything else they want to share around this with April. No, they're showing you like so strong. They're showing you in like that, like a Wonder Woman pose, like hands on your hips, like feet firmly stable in the ground, just like, I know who I am. I know who I am. So any clarity on that, really good. Beautiful, beautiful, supportive, really, really strong energy coming through for that, April. Okay, so moving along. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at Jessie. So let's see here. Jessie says, how can I continue on my amazing journey while my husband is super stuck? That definitely affects me. Like welcome to the world of like married spirituality. For those of us married to men who are like not on that path, not open to that path, and kind of going about things differently. Yeah, I know. I'm also one of those, and this is something that over my almost, I guess, 22 years relationship now, it's been the same thing. He knew who I was. I was always this person from the time I was little. He knew who I was when we got married, but it still can be super challenging. It can be super challenging for them, super challenging for you when you're in a relationship with somebody that's not on the same growth path as you, not on the same, things that you value, right? So I want to just see what is the first thing that flows through, but chances are, like, I almost want to, I'm laughing because the theme that the guides brought through for today is really reclaiming your power, understanding that, and this seems to be what they're bringing through. Okay, so number one, taking the pressure off of yourself to be the one to figure it out. And this obviously is really challenging, especially for a lot of us who have had a lot of responsibility for our full lives, take a lot of responsibility for people. But knowing that the responsibility for how things turn out, for how something turns out for somebody else, for how things even turn out for yourself, is not your responsibility from a pressure standpoint. So the first thing that guides are really showing is noticing where you're putting pressure for this to get figured out. It's the same thing I talk about pretty frequently on here, and it is like that energy of constriction, restriction, pressure, control, all of those things squeeze the solution energy out of the flow that runs through the world. So whenever you notice you are tense on a relationship topic of, feeling like they're not going along at the same level as you, or not really sure how it's going to turn out, or things along these lines, first thing is just kind of to take a breath, to ground, and to remind yourself it is not your responsibility to figure everything out and to come up with all the solutions. So that's the very first step. And then from there, it's a lot of openness to what is my truth around this. Okay, so the guides are giving a little bit of a flow here of how this processes energetically and how we understand it. So releasing the pressure first, and then it's opening to truth. Then it's opening into communication and clarity. So this could be communication and clarity from the perspective of you to yourself through a journal, getting clear. This can be the communication through, having conversations with your significant other that clarify just, where you're at. And again, those conversations can be challenging because there can often be a lot of defensiveness on both sides. But just really coming at it as from the perspective of, this is how I see things. I'm not saying this is the ultimate truth, because we're all going to have our own truths, but this is how I see things. This is how I feel. And I'm just presenting this here for your consideration, kind of. So very, very, very much that. And then from there, it's about anchoring back in. Then it's showing that anchoring back down into your power, back down into your truth. So it's really moving through the phases of releasing responsibility, releasing pressure, having that clear communication. And then from there, on the other side of things, it's like letting go of the attachment. So we can often go through those things and be like, okay, now I expect the best thing to happen from this. I expect a certain outcome. I expect things to go a certain way. And that's still the pressure and control, right? So then over on this side, it's around, okay, you're focused in on your power, what is within my control, what is within my power, what is within my control, what can I focus on, grounding into the present moment as much as possible, and then trusting and knowing that it will unfold in the way that is highest and best for everybody involved. But also, I just want to rewind for a second there because they were bringing something else in. Highest and best for everyone involved. And then also trusting that other people are capable, that they are capable of figuring things out. And often when we're somebody who is really highly motivated, really into like personal growth and things like that, we can feel like we need to take everybody with us, and we need to drag them along. So just understanding that they have their own path that is unfolding, and trusting that they will get that figured out, and they've got their own spiritual guides and supports. And even if they don't connect with it or connect with it in a different way, it is still active and it's still operational. So all we can do is present consideration, and then truth, and then trust, rather. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for the donation, April. Much appreciated. If you have the means and availability, I always appreciate donations for these sessions. Okay, so let's take a look here. And keep going down to Cindy, looking for an aligned partner and haven't been able to connect to anyone. And you know what? It's that same flow that the guides brought in initially, feeling like that's the pressure and the responsibility. Like, I'm looking for that. And then shifting over into, I trust that is exactly what's unfolding for me. And that doesn't mean that I can't like clarify exactly the type of vibe I want this person to have. I can clarify how I'm going to feel in this relationship. I can clarify qualities and values and things like that. But I'm trusting that the universe is the one to find it. Universe, God, source, whatever you resonate with there. So you take the pressure off of yourself as one singular human being, locating, finding, and capturing this one, significant other who's going to be perfect for you. And you take that pressure off of yourself, and then you clarify with yourself the vibes, the feelings, the emotions, the sensations, all of those things. You get nice and clear on that truth within yourself, and then you're anchoring and you're grounding. You're focused on the present moment. You're focused on yourself. You're focused on what feels really good for me in this moment, and following that. Because it's still, a part of you that's going to be going out there and connecting with them and locating them. But it's not from that point of, I I am taking full responsibility for this and the pressure's on me. It's from the point of knowing that the universe is lining everything up, and your role is to stay present in the moment, stay connected to your intuition, and then follow as you are guided. Even if it doesn't make a lot of logical sense, follow as you are guided and just really let your heart be open wide, and then it just allows these things to humble through so beautifully. Thank you so much for the donation, Jesse. My absolute pleasure. Oh, I'm just noticing that right now. He's stuck as F right now with so much promise. Yeah. Exactly. And I totally understand that it could be super, super frustrating in that, but it is just like, and it's such good personal growth too. Like, it's such good mastery. And after everything that, whenever I go through something with my husband, I'm always like, while I'm in, I'm like, oh, I'm learning so much about myself. Like, I'm evolving so much for myself right now. So yeah, you can look at it in that way too, as much as possible. Okay, so I will continue on here, and let's take a look at Liz. Again, yeah, lots of relationship stuff here that really comes back to personal power. So Liz says, how do I help my husband get over a 28-year marriage that I'm leaving? Okay, so you already kind of get the theme that I'm bringing through for today, which is that releasing pressure and responsibility, that it is your responsibility to do that. And then the clear communication, and then the trusting that person, that it will happen, that they are, capable and able to do that. But let's see specifically what they may have here for guidance. It's so similar. Like all of the messages coming through today are so similar. It's really trust and know that the intuitive guidance that flows through for you about how to best assist is what's going to be beneficial, but also trusting that it's not your responsibility, trusting that it's not on you, that they are an individual and that they are capable, even though from your perspective, they may not look capable, they may not look like it's going to be okay, everything like that. Even still, they're like, back it up, get back into your body and breathe and notice where you're feeling pulls of responsibility, pulls of pressure, pulls of you need to be the one to figure it out. And just remind yourself that that's just an illusion. That's just a habit that was created. That's an energy addiction that your body has created, like this addiction to feeling like you need to be the one to solve it and all of those things. So very much coming into an acceptance of self for the new role that you are playing in this, an acceptance of self for who you are, as letting that unfold on its own. So there's a lot of personal reflection work that the guides are bringing through here. And then from and out of that personal reflection work, which again is just part of that system that they're really bringing on today, is releasing the pressure, releasing responsibility, clarifying the truth in communication, and then centering in the present moment, trusting your intuition, following as you are guided. But it's really a lot of personal clarity that's coming through here, and a lot of clarifying of your own desires, of your own needs, above that of someone else as well. Beautiful. Okay, so I hope that makes some sense.